Welcome back to another episode of our message recap, where we recap. I laugh every time because just say we recap messages on the message recap. Imagine that we have a message every single week, and we like to go a little further into what we talked about. So this was week 3 of the series We Are Access. Because We Are Access Church, and first week was We Are Access. Then we had We Are Prayers, and this week it was We Are Teammates. Talking about collectively being a team. And let's go further. What was the premise?
The premise, we didn't cover this very much in the message, but I kind of highlighted what I think is maybe one of the most ignored verses in all of the Bible, and that is where Paul says, hey, the pastors and teachers and apostles are there to equip God's people to do his works. And like how it seems like in Western Christianity, we have completely got that wrong, that ministry is only for pastors and staff, that you have to be trained a certain way, that it's not, it's not even on most average American Christians' radar that you have a spot on the team and that you've been called.
You have a role to play.
Yeah. So that was kind of the whole premise, is that it's not just me.
Yeah.
It's not just the staff, but really trying to challenge everybody that this is for all of us. And like, we will not be as effective unless we all kind of take part of it.
You kind of gave the analogy of when your wife's car wasn't working and there was a misfire in her engine. And although she could have kept driving the car, it would have functioned. It would have not been running at its full capacity. And had it continued like that, there would be problems later on. And I think we've seen that in the 21st century churches, when we are not all collectively serving, volunteering, working together in the mission. It can function, but later on there's issues, and I think we start to see that. And you start to even see a decline in the church and Christianity because we're not all actively involved. Correct.
And actively involved, it really accomplishes two things. One, it makes the unit, the church stronger, but it also makes us stronger.
Yeah, absolutely.
As individuals, we grow and become stronger as we apply ourselves. But don't you think there's something in our culture too that it seems to just be, I don't want to do anything unless it's a really important job. It seems like a lot of people want to rise to the, to the top where, hey, I'll get involved, but I don't want to do something meaningless, or I want to do I want to do something where I can be seen or where I can get recognition. And, Paul addressed it in 2 different letters, but this incredible importance of the whole body.
Yeah.
That we've all done it. We've hurt our toe. And your whole leg, somebody says, what happened to your leg? My leg's fine. It's my little toe that hurts, but it affects the whole.
Yeah.
And I think in our culture, we miss this idea that, well, if I can't be on the stage, which, I can't talk right, I can't be on the stage, then I'm not going to do nothing. Listen, what's the most important role in the church?
Whatever one God has asked you to do.
Whatever one God has asked you to do. Because there is no, we have some great servants here, do things that nobody ever, if you go to church here, you don't even know these people exist. But you do know that when you come here, the grass is always mowed. The bathrooms are always clean. There's stuff that we don't, but there's not little elves that come in and do that at night, right? There are servants.
What?
Excuse me. And there's a place for everybody for this movement to be accomplished.
I had somebody ask me about that specific thing on Sunday, and not looking to volunteer or anything. They literally, there it is. They literally said, who services, which company mows your lawn or does this? I'm like, that's all volunteers.
Yeah.
It's literally volunteers who take care of it. Because like you said, there's a place to serve everywhere. And you mentioned, if I can't be on the stage, on the flip side, there's some people that go, I don't want to be on the stage, so maybe there's nothing for me to do. I don't want to get up there. I don't want to sing. I don't want to play. I don't want to talk. We talked about it on Sunday. There are so many positions behind the scenes where you don't even have to interact with people if you don't want to, but you're still helping in that mission.
I think there are some people who would say, I love going to Access Church because the music and the messages. The music and the messages are so great, I want to go there. if that's all we did for 1 month is the music and the messages,
You wouldn't come.
You wouldn't come. You would
Yeah.
not come here.
Yep.
There would be kids all over the auditorium. The place would smell like crap,
Yep.
and it would be a mess. It would be you wouldn't come here. You wouldn't
There's
show
so
up.
many pieces that I think go unseen by the general amount of people that come. Like even if you do like music and the messages, there's someone running the sound. There's someone who set up those lights. There's someone who set up the slides. There's people running all of those things during a service. Like there's so many pieces that come together that it wouldn't be what it was if we didn't have people working at those.
And here's the interesting part, and your message makes this pretty clear. There is a place for every single one of us. And I know for me,
336 places.
To be exact.
To be exact.
there's a place for every one of us. And I know for me, now that my role has really changed, I'm no longer up on the stage all the time. There is still so much to do. I just find joy in being a part. You know, that this movement of God, especially this place, Access Church, is just, I believe, the most wonderful place. And I can't imagine being on a World Series or a, what's the football thing called?
Super Bowl?
The Super Bowl champion team and only be on the bench. I just can't imagine that.
Yeah.
My team just won and I'm on the team, but I didn't play a part.
Yeah.
You look at that ring and think,
I'm just
I did
watching.
nothing all year to
Yeah.
earn this.
Yeah.
My personality maybe, but I wouldn't want that to happen. I want to be a part somehow. And God has put it in every one of us, a desire to be a part somehow. I think most of it is, what keeps us from what keeps you from becoming a part, from actually filling one of these roles. And I think what seems so important now is actually going to be embarrassing someday. You know, that, well, I wasn't a part because I didn't think I knew enough, or I wasn't a part because I was too busy doing what? What's more important than the mission? Eternity. What's more important?
Yeah.
And not that everybody can do it as a full-time job. That's not what we're saying. But to be a part of it, a committed part of it, I think there's no excuse. That's just my opinion.
Yeah.
There's no excuse.
There's definitely distractions.
Yeah.
And we talked about, you talked about that on Sunday, is we live in a consumerism society where it's kind of, I want what I want and I want it right now. And we,
And I want to come and you just feed me and do for me and perform for me.
Fortunately and unfortunately have all of that, at our disposal. And I think it makes it harder for us to make that mental switch to dive in and serve,
Yeah.
But but like we've said, there is a spot for everybody, and you even hit on it and you talked on it on Sunday. 336 open positions.
New additional
outside of who's already serving just here at Access. And I love how you showed it up on the screen too, just an overwhelming amount of positions that are open. And you're like, take a look around the room. Yeah, there's not 336 people in here. So you'd think, like, how do you not leave that room going, I can't not get involved. You know what I mean?
Yep.
That was the goal. I saw some of you walk out. I'm assuming you're going to sign up this week.
there you go.
Oh, yeah. You mentioned it earlier about a couple times that Paul, writes about, hey, we're all part of the body and one's not more important than the other. There's only so much time in a message, right? And I even went long this week. But I wanted so badly to fit in there towards the end of, in 1 Corinthians, it says, if one part suffers, every part suffers with it. And gosh, I wish we could see that as a church, that yes, like we're still reaching people, we're still operating as a church, but if we could get the picture from God's perspective that we're not going at the pace he wants us, reaching as many people as he wants, we are in a sense suffering as a church because of the misfires, because so few people are involved. But then the very next sentence, hey, if one part is honored, then everybody is honored and rejoice with it. And man, there's like that danger, that negative side, but there's also the positive side of, man, what could God do if we all joined the team, sort of thing. So
along with that, I think in Ephesians, he says the whole body grows as each part does its work.
Yeah.
The whole body grows as each part does its work, So It
Now, in each part, he means just the staff.
Yeah.
yeah, okay. Yeah, as
doesn't.
everyone. Think of a bigger picture. This church is where we're called to, but think of the bigger picture in America. If every Christian in America would engage, I know I'm stepping past the message, but
No, that was it.
to kind of go where you were even before. If each Christian in America would pray, if each Christian in America would support financially and verbally by inviting, and each Christian in America engage in the actual work, this would be a different country.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah. Well, and you hit on that too. It's not just Access Church. Like,
Yeah, no.
This is happening
Yep.
everywhere. You got less people involved, and
Everywhere that consumerism grows, this is just, unfortunately, the results of that.
yeah. So what do we do? Yeah. How do
Well, you can go
how do
to
we fix it?
accesschurch.info and sign up to serve.
Yeah.
It's fine. I mean, honestly, that's what it comes down to. I mean, that was the whole point of the message. Is I just wanted to, encourage, show you kind of things from a bigger perspective, that there really is a spot. So
Yeah.
that literally is the step that I hope everybody takes. I hope that as you spend time with God this week, that He, reveals a spot where you can get involved that lines up with your passions and your gifts and your talents, and that you'd want to be a part of the team.
And if you take a step into the building and you look around, you go, "Oh man, they look pretty filled up on volunteers here." I guarantee you, if you sign up to volunteer, there is a spot. So
yeah, that's because the
guaranteed.
volunteers we have right now do an incredible job.
Absolutely.
So yeah.
Okay, there you go.
How's that? We are teammates.
We are teammates, and you can watch that. It'll pop up here on the screen in just a second. And if you haven't, we encourage you to go back to watch the first message. We are Access, we are Prayers, and then now we are teammates. But you can watch that when it pops up. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and we'll be back next week with another recap.
Yep.
Have a great week.